Today I'll be ranking every shonen anime I could find on my anime list. Now for the ones like One Piece, I didn't put every single season because there's just too many and I'd fucking be here all day ranking every damn One Piece season. But for like ones like Jojo where there's only like 2 or 3, I added them. So let's get to it real quick and let's not waste any time. Now let me explain here how I did the tier system. For the first one, I did a god tier for anime that have just stood the test of time, that I think you could watch more than once, more than twice, 3 times, and it's just as badass as it was the first time. Anime that I think will last the test of time 20-30 years from now, will be looked at as the OGs of anime basically. So that's what god tier anime is to me. Great story writing, long enough to where you can enjoy it thoroughly, and every episode is just badass. Constantly good seasons, good animation, good soundtrack, just a little bit of everything that makes it just great in my opinion. Now some of my opinions may suck. I know there's gonna be 1 or 2 that I just completely didn't like on this list, but majority of shonen anime are pretty enjoyable. They're all kind of similar in the sense of actiony and thriller and the whole shit. So if you like one shonen anime, you're more likely to like some other ones also. The next tier on the list is above average / badass anime. So this is basically anime that is very badass. It's above average, it's better than normal, but I wouldn't put it as god tier, if you know what I'm trying to say here. So just above average basically, but still badass. Mid average is basically just anime that wasn't overly good, it wasn't overly bad, but it was straight to watch. You probably won't watch it again. You might recommend it to your friends, but it's not the first on your list basically. The one under that is below average. So below average in my eyes is kind of like it sucks. It was kind of shit. You're kind of like you know, it wasn't like horrible, but I didn't really enjoy watching this 12 episode anime. I basically had nothing else to watch, and it was just barely bearable enough to watch, and it was basically shit in reality. But it wasn't like, it's like maybe like, I don't know, 20% shit and like, or 50% shit and 50% good. That'd be more mid, but you get what I'm saying. Below average anime. I'll see which ones I put there as we go through the list. And below it is, why did I even watch this anime? There's some anime I watched because I was just desperate to watch anime at one point, and it just really sucked, and I pushed myself to watch it continuously, and I just could not stand it. So that's basically what the last tier is, just ass anime, basically just shitty anime. Why did I even watch this? Like it was basically just self-torture at that point. So was the first one being on the list that we all know is Attack on Titan, the first season, but I'm gonna do it as like as a whole. I don't want to do like every season of Attack on Titan. I think every season of Attack on Titan isn't god tier, but I think the first one really is extremely well. I think Attack on Titan as a whole is extremely well. I think it's probably gonna be one of the OG animes 10-20 years from now that everybody will look back on and be like, yeah, that shit was #1 anime of the year for fucking like a whole decade. I mean, because you just gotta think about it. The whole sadness was Eren, Mikasa. The whole storyline was the Titans and how it just evolves into a more deeper plot line was the Marlians and the Eldians, and it's just a bunch of twists and turns and gore and thriller. It's just great soundtrack to top it all off. The animation is badass. Even when Mappa got a hold of it, it was still good animation, great fight scenes. So I just have to give Attack on Titan a god tier list. I can't see it. It's over above average. It's definitely above average, but it's beyond that in my eyes. It's just such a badass anime to watch. I've seen it all over again like twice already. The next anime I want to look at is Assassination Classroom. Now, Assassination Classroom when I first saw it at first glance, it kind of looked like it was gonna suck. I got recommended it, and I was kind of like, I always like skipped over it just because it looked a little too, you know, kiddish, a little too high school life. It looked weird as fuck. It was Koro Sensei in the cover art and all that. But honestly, I was hooked just by the first episode. I think Assassination Classroom is an extremely well put anime, extremely amazing ending. I think next season is coming out. I'm not too sure, but this one right here was just great. I love the whole storyline, the action scenes. The comedy was not overly exaggerated. It was nice and subtle. I just really liked it. It had its serious moments and its extremely sad moments. It's an anime where I rarely like the endings, but so this one I'll put as an above average anime. I think that's a very fair ranking for Assassination Classroom. I highly recommend that one. That's one I would be on my list to recommend to people. The next anime I want to look at is Black Clover. Now, Black Clover, I want to be honest, it has a dope cover art. I expected a lot from it, but I hate to say I hated the first like 50 episodes. I would say they were just so slow, and it was just Asa constantly fucking screaming. He fucking screams in every episode, and I love the intensity, but god dang, it was really fucking annoying after a while. And I knew it was gonna get better, but it was just like, I like the newest season was the whole devils and demons and all that shit coming out and like going into that type of arc. But before that, it was really slow. It felt like a lot of filler. So because of that, if I was to rate it as a whole, I would say Black Clover's mid. I think Black Clover's just mid. Like I'll watch it. I probably will not rewatch it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I was the ones above it. So the next one, Bleach. Now Bleach is badass. I love Bleach. I think Bleach is one of the best anime that came out in its time. One of the big four, along with Naruto and One Piece, old school. You know, that most people see in the mainstream media. And then with the Blood Art coming out in October 10th, I believe, there's a lot of hype around Bleach, and I personally am excited for it, so I'm gonna watch it. But Bleach is not one of those animes I think I could rewatch personally. Like, it's really long and it's badass, but I don't know if I would give it a god tier anime. I think a lot of people probably would, but I'd say Bleach is I just say above average. I think it was a badass anime. I like the whole, when they go to like Welcome Mundo and shit, and they're fighting the fucking espadas. I think that was an extremely dope fight, extremely good storyline behind it. So I would give it an above average great ranking on this one. The next one, Blue Exorcist. Now Blue Exorcist was dope. I like the first season. It was cool. It was something to watch. Second season sucked in my opinion. I didn't even finish it. I would give Blue Exorcist damn, I mean, like, it was good, but together, I mean, like, I would say it's almost like a below average to mid average. I feel like I wish it was like a in between these two, but I won't say it's shit, but I would say it's a little below average of an anime. I don't think I would find myself recommending it to many people personally. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just remember really liking the first season a lot. I would say the first season was easy mid, but the second season was below average definitely. So, but nonetheless, I think we'll just keep it there since they couldn't keep it going. Now, Deadman Wonderland. Deadman Wonderland. This one was fucking weird. Like, it's so confusing. It starts off really weird. I like the whole spooky and like weird shit going on with the girl, and I think like she dies and comes back. There's a bunch of them. I don't fucking know. I haven't finished it. I've tried watching it like 3 times. I just can't get into it. I don't know why. I get so fucking like, I just can't stay focused on it for long. I just get, I don't know, bored or sidetracked. But I think it's a good anime. I would say I haven't finished it, so I'm just gonna give it a below average score. I feel like that's just where it's at, you know. I feel like they could have executed it a little bit better. I'm not big a fan of the soundtrack or much of any of it. The animation's dope, but I think that's fine. Alright, next one right here is Death Note. I'm sure I don't gotta explain what Death Note's about. Death Note's an OG anime immediately. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I don't care what you say. I don't give a fuck. Death Note is a god tier anime. Death Note has been #1 anime. I don't know for how long. Everybody knows Death Note. Everybody knows who Light, Kira, L, all that shit is. Awesome anime. Beautiful ending. Beautiful soundtrack. Dope ass animation. It was made so long ago, and for its time, it was way ahead of its time. I mean, that shit would be a god tier anime today if it came out today compared to like 10 years ago or whenever the fuck it came out. But it's an anime that's easily at the top. The whole cat and mouse game with Kira, Light, you know, fucking L, and how they go back and forth, the whole detective shit. I fuck with that a lot. The whole like Criminal Minds type vibe to it. Badass anime. God tier. I don't care what anybody says. Fight me in the comments if you want. Demon Slayer. Now, Demon Slayer is a badass anime. Badass anime. And I know some people really praise it as high. I mean, this shit was, I think it was anime of the year last year. I'm not too sure. It was Crunchyroll. But I don't think I could put it in god tier. It's definitely not mid. I would say it's above average of an anime. The whole storyline between the demons and the demon slayers with Tanjiro, Zenitsu. I can't fucking remember the board's name. I'm so fucking lost on that. But all 3 of them was badass. I finished it. I'm really caught up. It's just been a while since I've seen it, and I've taken so much other information in from other anime. My brain can't keep up with all these fucking names sometimes. And that's so because the board's probably one of my favorite. But nonetheless, Demon Slayer, great storyline. Go watch it. Very sad. Great fight scenes. Great. The movie was badass. Great movies, basically. Fucking Rengoku is such a badass movie. That's a movie I saw more than once. I would give the Rengoku movie an above average score as well. Definitely an anime I recommend to people. Now, Dorororo is an anime I don't think many people hear. I never really saw it talked about much anywhere. Maybe I was just late to it, and that's why I didn't see it online or much excitement around it. But it was a good anime. It was really good, really old school Japan era. I'm not too sure what period it was in, but it's very sad, you know, blind, deaf, mute fighter without limbs or legs. It's fucking crazy. It's fighting demons to regain his fucking body back because he was sacrificed by his dad to the demons in order to have his land prosper because they were like nobles or some shit. And it goes like that basically. I don't know, like I feel like Dororo doesn't deserve to be in mid. It was such a good anime. The fight scenes were good. I should fucking put a tier between mid and fucking badass where it's hard, undecided. I would have to put it, I guess, with badass. I think it's a very badass anime. It's a good one. Not too long, straight to the point. It's a little bit above average, I would say. Dr. Stone is dope. It's very dope. I don't know if I could give it above average. it is badass with the whole idea of science, and they put the comedy, and it's definitely an anime I don't think I've seen like it recently. I don't know. I loved it. I liked it a lot, but I think it's a mid-average. It's an average anime in between above average and average. So, but I think I'd give it an average scoring. Badass anime. I watched it. I'm gonna keep up with it. I don't know how far they're gonna go with it, but it just didn't hit too hard. It didn't hit too much. Was the open? Oh, the opening was badass actually, but I just feel I didn't get too engulfed by it at the end of the day, like I did with the God tier anime. Those are just something else. The badass animes, I was really invested in them. Okay, so on to the next one, Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, this is a hard one. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, so I don't want to be biased and say God tier anime, but I fucking am. I don't give a fuck. Dragon Ball Z is a badass anime. I mean, it's going on till this day. Everybody knows what Dragon Ball Z is. It's one of the top ranking animes that up from all around Shonen. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say was Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, the whole storyline of Dragon Ball Z. I know people don't like Dragon Ball Z GT because it wasn't like part of the show, but I think Dragon Ball Z GT was badass. I would say the whole franchise as a whole is a god tier anime, so I gotta put it up there. Dragon Ball Z is just badass. So okay, so here we are with Fairy Tail. So I watched most of Fairy Tail. I didn't finish it. It was at a time when there wasn't many good anime to watch, and I can just say this shit was so fucking boring to me. Oh my god, I could not fucking stand Fairy Tail. I feel like I'm about to cry just thinking about the time I spent watching this show. It's such a boring anime, such a fucking for me. I know a lot of people are gonna talk shit and say I don't have good anime taste because of this one. I know people fucking love Fairy Tail, and I got recommended it by a lot of people. But I think it was just a shitty anime in my opinion. Why did I even watch this? Because I had no other fucking choice but to watch it or fucking watch normal TV, and I did not want to do that. I just put it at the very bottom of the tier for me. That shit ain't for me. Fucking the little bird or cat that's happy and Natsu, and I remember their names, but it just got so boring and repetitive. It was just, I don't know, I just didn't fuck with it too much. Another one that's really really good is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This one was an extremely well put anime. I would put this easily above average. Badass anime. The story behind it, a lot of dark scenes, a lot of killing, gore, not like overly gory, but a little bit of goriness. Good thriller, fucking awesome anime. It almost teeters into god tier, but not enough, I think, not yet. Badass show. I just love Mustang. Motherfucker be snapping his finger, fucking people up. I mean, it's fucking funny, but it's badass. Another one I want to talk about here is Future Diary. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen Future Diary. I personally love this anime. It was extremely badass. Dope, just crazy as fuck. Crazy bitch just loves him and so much that she's like, I guess she like kills him over and over again to like keep him or some stupid shit like that. But when I tell you I fucking hated the ending, it was such bullshit. I almost want to spoil it. I think whoever's seen this show or whoever's here watching this video already knows what the fuck happens. I hate how this bitch gets a happy ending. I do not fucking like that. She's crazy as fuck in every way, killing this guy over and over again, and you're telling me at the end she gets a fucking happy ending? Like he becomes a fucking omnipotent god and shit, and then she like breaks through and like fucking hugs him and they're together. I thought it was just straight ass. I was like, that shit pissed me off. Like, he does not deserve to be with this. She does not deserve to be with this fool. He's normal. She's crazy as fuck. I didn't get that. Maybe I didn't pay too much attention the first time watching it, so that just really got on my nerves. But it is an above average anime in my opinion. Very badass. Something I would recommend to people if they ask me what's a good anime to watch. So there's that. Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is a badass anime. I will say it's not like at first it didn't get my attention. They have the hunter exams, they're going slow. There's that fucking weird ass clown that fucking gets all turned on trying to fight Gon and Killua, and is very suspect as fuck. Basically that dude should be on a registry probably somewhere. You don't want to fucking have him anywhere near a fucking school. It was so, I think that was the dumbest thing I ever saw. Like the way I saw the clown react to, I guess, Gon being strong was him just fucking damn near busting a nut basically. But nonetheless, the anime gets extremely badass later on. I love the Chimera Ants, the fucking bug arcs. Super dope, super sad. Great anime. I can't wait for it to come back. I think it's coming back. I know that shit's been on hiatus for like 10 years. And it's a super old anime from what I can remember. Now, Inuyasha. Inuyasha, badass anime. What stands out, I haven't seen Inuyasha in years. That's an old anime that I saw growing up. All I can remember was Kagome getting into some fucking problems every time, and like always Inuyasha comes and he fucking screams out her name, Kagome, every fucking time. Every episode at least once or twice he screams out Kagome, and like, I mean, it's a badass anime. I would almost I want to give it a mid grading. And I'm a big fan of Inuyasha, badass old school, you know, but it wasn't like, I don't think I could watch it again. At the time it was great, but right now it's just I don't know. Since my taste in anime has grown a little bit more, I just don't think I could put it up there with the rest of the shonen anime. I feel like I enjoyed these a little bit more than Inuyasha. Some episodes were badass, but nonetheless, I'm probably gonna be very biased here. I think Jojo's a badass anime, super badass. I would say if I was to rank the whole series as a whole, I would almost put it at a god tier anime. It's just really badass. I love the whole storyline. So I want to put the first one in god tier. I think Jojo is such a badass anime. Great animation, great fight scenes, betrayal, fucking soundtrack is completely badass. It's dope how every part's like the lineage of Jojo, Joestar going down the line, and each have their own story and shit like that, and badass funny characters. I like the New York Jojo. I think the New York Jojo was badass. I give it an above average. That's for the second one right here, the second season. The fucking Pillar Man with Caesar and everything. If y'all seen it, I think it was extremely badass. I loved it. I thought it was badass. I want to say that one was god tier. The reason I'm giving the first one god tier because that's what started it off. So it's the beginning of a badass anime. The next one was when they started bringing in the stands and shit. It fucking threw me off. I don't know where the fuck the author was going with it at this point. And while it was dope, bringing in the stands was dope. The whole storyline was dope. It was badass. I would say it was badass, but I would almost say it was mid. I don't know why. I wasn't a big fan of the stands at first. It just really turned me off. I felt like it was just weird in general, but this one would be in between mid-average and above average, if anything, the third season, part 3 of Jojo. Now, part 4, I want to say part 4 was straight ass. I did not like part 4. The one was a fucking heart stand and shit like that. It was just so fucking boring. Like I finished it just because I needed to know what happens next to be able to watch the next part. Part 4 is dope, but it just felt like one big failure. I want to say it's below average. It was kind of shit in reality. Not like why did I even watch this, but I'd say it was shit. It just sucked. I hated it. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. I wouldn't put in like why did I even watch this, because I know why I watched it, because I had to fucking to keep the storyline going. But I'll put it below average. Still Jojo, so it still has that bias factor of it being badass, you know. What can I say? You know, I'm unfair sometimes. Now, Jojo Part 5, I'm gonna be really fucking honest about this one. Jojo Part 5 is probably my favorite one. I'm gonna put this bitch at the top, a god tier anime. Jojo Part 5 is badass soundtrack, badass character. I love the whole mafia setting. They're in Italy, Giorno, Bucciarati, fucking Narancia. All of them are just badass characters. Mista. I wish I would have bought in the fucking watches that came out and I saw them and I was going to, because they were all themed from the characters of part 5, but I was dumb and I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. Now they're expensive as fuck, and I'll probably never have one at this point, because I think now they're going for like a few hundred, like $700-800, $1,000, and I'm not about to drop that type of stacks on a fucking Jojo watch. But part 5 was badass. Great storyline, great scenes. I love the part where they're both singing, and like it was just so fucking random and trippy when they have the guy in the fucking hook, on the fish hook. I'm sure most of you know what scene I'm talking about. Badass scene. Another anime that I really like that's still airing right now is Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, it's not airing, it finished, but I know the movies are gonna come out soon. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 in Crunchyroll in a month, I believe. I'm not too sure. A month from now, like October. Or not a month. Yes, it's October, yeah. Some shit like that. Jujutsu Kaisen is above average anime. Super badass. Great fight scenes. I love the fucking dude that claps his hands. That fight scene was badass when they're going against the tree demon, or the fuck, you know, they're called. Badass show, badass. Now, My Hero Academia was cool. It was new, and I would say it's a badass anime. The first few seasons, it's been kind of slow lately. I haven't watched it. I don't want to say it's mid, because it's not really mid to a lot of people. I can understand why it wouldn't be mid, but I don't know if it'd be above average of an anime. I would say though it's in between above average and badass, but I'll put it at mid and average for now, because I feel like it could have been a little bit better. I don't know, I wish it'd be in between these two, but I'll leave it at mid for now. Naruto Shippuden is a badass anime. I have to put it at badass because the fight scenes are great. I feel like the actual Naruto series, the first season, it's mid-average in reality. It's badass, don't get me wrong, beautiful fight scenes, badass fight scenes, but I just like to put in more. Some people would think Naruto goes on god tier of shonen anime, but I don't think I could do that fairly. I just feel like It had so much filler and everything, but I mean, when you think about Itachi and those type of characters, the deep story behind them, it almost is a god tier shonen anime. I mean, especially fucking Shippuden. That shit, I'll put it up here. Fucking in the name of Jiraiya, I just have to. When Pain fights and shit, I feel unfair. We're on our last few here. I want to see Noragami. Noragami is cool. It's a good anime. He's like a god, and the more people that pray to him and pay to him, the stronger he is. But he's a god that no one really knows, or that nobody really knows. So he tends to be weak, but there's some parts where he's strong, and it's a funny anime, cool, chill. I say it's a mid-average anime, mid-plus, I guess we'll say. One Piece, of course, I'm not gonna piss off 90% of the anime community, and I can understand why One Piece is god tier. One Piece has a very long storyline that's still going. We'll probably keep going for the next fucking 5 to 10 years. I have no idea. They're at 1,000 episodes right now. The Straw Hats, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Robin, Usopp, Frankie, Chopper. I can't remember the fucking cook's name. I feel ashamed. But I watched One Piece growing up. It was fun. It was dope. Picked it up later on when there was like fucking 800 episodes to watch. I cashed up, and One Piece is badass. While there are a lot of parts that are so slow, feel like filler, and I just kind of hate, it has great world building, great characters. It is one creative ass author behind One Piece. It deserves god tier anime. Right now there's a lot of badass fights going on, and I read a little bit ahead in the manga, and we're in for some badass scenes. Alright, the next one, My Promised Neverland. I think My Promised Neverland was a badass anime. Very interesting concept, very dope. Kids in an orphanage are really fucking cattle for demons to eat later on, and they're teaching them to be smarter, because the more developed the brain is, the better they taste. Badass anime. I like these type of psychological thrillers where you can kind of think of what's gonna happen next and be wrong and go along with the characters and all these twists and turns. I enjoyed it a lot. The second season, below average. When I watched the second season, it felt so fucking rushed. Like it felt like they just rushed the shit out of it. Out of nowhere, fucking Norman's back, and then at the end of it, I'm sure for all you that seen it, they're in the fucking city and it's over. Like they just fucking, you know, like it was just so quick. It was just like, it just felt too rushed for me. I like, it was cool to watch. I liked it, but I didn't enjoy how rushed it felt. It was below average in my opinion, the second season. Now Rurouni Kenshin. I love Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know if it's a god tier anime. It kind of is to me. I think it's a badass old school anime. It has a good storyline. I'll put it at badass. I almost want to put Rurouni Kenshin between badass and god tier, because it's a really good anime. It's a really good anime. I know a lot of people probably don't think it is, but I enjoyed it extremely thoroughly. I enjoyed it a lot. What the fuck? Seraph of the End. Badass anime. Cool anime. I give it a mid-average score. Mid-plus. Seraph of the End is one of those like vampire animes that are extremely well put together. Great storyline, great fights, betrayal, all that type of shit. Army type vibe to it. Good anime. It's one I would recommend to people if I was talking to them. Now this one I have mixed feelings about. Is Seven Deadly Sins. I'm a huge fan of Seven Deadly Sins, Escanor and all of them, especially Escanor, badass character. I hated, what was it, like season 3, season 2, some parts just sucked. Seven Deadly Sins, some parts at badass and some parts at mid-average. It just felt rushed as well, and the animation kind of sucked on a lot of it. They had some fucking too deep fucking moving parts that fucked the show up a little bit for me. The one fight that would have made this show badass, but I put it in mid, is because the fight where Escanor fights Meliodas around the end, around like season 4, was so fucking hyped up. I even watched a manga video on YouTube that was even more badass than the fucking actual animated version. They added color and sound effects and made it 10 times more intense than the fucking actual episode. I was so fucking, like, I had to go back and watch the manga video on YouTube just to fucking cleanse my mind from the bullshit I had just witnessed on the actual episode. And it's funny because a lot of people in the comments felt the same way, so it wasn't just me. Now here's another one that's pretty good. Soul Eater. I didn't even know that was a shonen anime. I didn't realize that. I watched it a long time ago. Soul Eater's badass. It's very unique, a very unique badass anime. It's cool. I like it a lot. I honestly wouldn't even be able to tell you the fucking names of the characters. It's been so long since I've seen it. It was one of those animes I kind of just watched in the background. Not like 100%, but I'd probably go back and watch it again. I'll say it's a badass anime. We'll put it there. Fairy Tail's looking pretty lonely down there, but it is what it is, Fairy Tail. Now, I'm sure many of you know this one, Black Butler. Where does Black Butler really deserve to be? For me, it's definitely an anime that's not shit. It was extremely well. I thought it was gonna be shit at first, to be honest. It just felt fucking like not my type of anime. But I try not to grade anime just because they're not my type too harshly. But when I watched Black Butler, it was so well put together It was such a chill show to watch. I like the whole Ciel and Sebastian, the going back and forth, and the colors, and the little bit like comedy and the deepness to it. Badass. Great ending. I think the ending was extremely fucking intense. And apparently there's more to it that I don't even know about because I haven't read the manga. Like, I don't know, most of you know about that. I think like this isn't the real Ciel. The real Ciel died or some shit to bring Sebastian into the world, and that's like his twin brother or some shit. I hope I'm not spoiling for some people. I might just put a spoiler a little few seconds before this, but badass anime. I would say Black Butler is gonna be one of those that people are gonna know, and I will put it at God tier just because I think it's extremely popular, and I think I liked it more than I should have for the type of genre it is. So that's how you know it's probably better than what I could think of personally. So that's it. This is my fucking tier rank of just random shit I could think about in the moment right now. My first feelings and flashbacks of the animes. Real time, no fucking really predetermined. I didn't write this shit down, just no script, nothing, just this is it. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this. What do you think about it? Is my taste in anime kind of shit? Am I being overly nice? Do I suck? Am I being overly harsh? I don't know. You let me know what's your favorite anime. What would you consider God tier anime out of here? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.